Art is something I've always loved and enjoyed growing up. I love to draw, paint, and do a lot of origami. And I mean a lot. My parents probably still have boxes tucked away in their storage. I've been taking art classes for what feels like forever now. And eventually, I even became a teacher's assistant there. I just loved creating whatever I wanted, whether it was through a pencil, brush, or just with my bare hands. People have always told me that I should become an artist, that I should pursue an art. But just as often, I heard the opposite, that I'd never make any money doing it. These two voices, one encouraging and one fearful, have always been in conflict. So whenever someone asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I never said artist. Hearing that I'd be poor and unhappy if I chose that path made me stop believing in a future with art. And over time, I stopped putting in the same effort. But when it came time to apply to colleges and figure out what I really wanted to do with my life, only one thing kept coming back to me: art and its ability to create. Aside from maybe trying out YouTube, it was the only thing that was in my mind. More than anything, I just wanted the freedom to create. It was around the beginning of my last year of high school when I stumbled across an anime called Blue Period. And at that time, I was going through a very turbulent time of my life. I felt burnt out, overwhelmed with stress, and very unsure of my future. I didn't really know what I truly wanted, and that uncertainty weighed heavily on me. But as I watched Blue Period, something clicked. The main character, Yatora, was going through the exact same thing. He loved art, but he was afraid to pursue it in college because of all the doubts and fears I was also facing. But it wasn't just his situation, it was him. This is kinda cringy, but he felt like me. It was as if all my thoughts, my fears, and experiences were being reflected back at me through this character. He wasn't just relatable, he felt like a carbon copy of my own life. Watching him go through the same internal conflict made everything I was feeling feel real. Like I wasn't overthinking or being dramatic. It was the first time I truly saw myself in a story. Yatora starts just off like me, a high-achieving high school student, and on the surface he seems like he has it all together. He gets good grades, hangs out with friends, and doesn't cause much trouble. He blends in well, doing what is expected of him, not out of passion, but out of sense of obligation and routine. Despite his success, there's a deep sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction inside him. He doesn't feel fulfilled by the way he is living. He smokes, he stays out late, and keeps all of his thoughts to himself, drifting through life without any real direction, trying his best to live the life of a normal student/son. That changes when he stumbles across a painting in his school's art room. For the first time, he feels something stir inside of him. It's not just the beauty of the art, it's the raw honesty and intensity behind it. That moment became a turning point for Yatora. Curious, he tries drawing for himself, and through that process, he discovers how art allows him to express emotions he never knew how to articulate. The act of creating becomes a kind of freedom. His decision to pursue art isn't just about switching careers. It's about breaking out of a life that was set clear, a safe track. His parents, like many, want what they think is best for him: a stable job, a good income, and a predictable future. There is this heavy moment of tension when Yatora realizes he has to confront his parents. He's terrified, not just of being rejected, but of disappointing the people who raised him, who provided for him, who expected him to succeed by conventional standards. He knows what they've sacrificed for him. He knows that choosing art might mean being broke, struggling, or even failing. But despite that, he chooses to be honest. What makes this so relatable is that it captures the universal fear of choosing a dream that might not pay off, risking comfort for meaning. He doesn't just face the fear of being broke financially. He faces the fear of being emotionally and socially isolated for wanting something different. But he confronts it head on, and on that act of defiance became one of his biggest steps towards adulthood.
そのために母さんの協力が欲しい。
I remember the scene where Yatora finally breaks down, crying in front of his mom. And I remember just pausing the episode, shutting off my laptop, and walking into the bathroom sink. And there, I cried too. Not because the scene was sad, but because it felt like me. It felt like someone had taken off all the emotion I had locked up deep inside. All the doubt, the fear, the guilt, and poured them onto the screen. And for the first time, I saw myself completely and unapologetically in a character. And it broke something open in me. What moved me the most was the vulnerability. Yatoro doesn't pretend to have it all figured out. He breaks, he doubts himself, he fails. But through that he grows. He lets himself feel things deeply, even when it hurts, even when it makes him look weak. And in doing that, he becomes stronger. And that is honestly kind of terrifying. Growing up, I always thought vulnerability was something to hide. That showing your fear or uncertainty made me less capable, less mature. But watching Yatora, to him vulnerability wasn't weakness. It's courage. It takes strength to admit that you're scared. It takes strength to say, this is what I love, knowing others might not understand. And it takes strength to pursue something knowing that it might not work out. Vulnerability is often seen as weakness, when in truth, it's one of the most powerful and courageous things a person can express. To be vulnerable is to let yourself be seen. Not the version you curate for others, but your raw, imperfect, emotional self. It's showing your fears, your desires, your uncertainty, your pain. It's saying I love you first, or admitting I don't know. Or asking others for help when you've always been seen as the strong one. We spend so much of our lives trying to be enough, smart enough, cool enough, tough enough. But people don't connect through perfection. Think about those moments with your friends when a conversation suddenly turns deep. Someone shares something real, something they wouldn't normally say out loud. And in that moment, the walls come down. Everyone starts speaking from their heart. We connect through honesty. When someone is vulnerable to us, we feel invited to be real too. It builds trust, it builds intimacy, and it dissolves the distance between you and me. In creative works, some of the most memorable stories, songs, or performances aren't always the most polished. They're the ones that reveal something deeply human. That moment in a show when a character breaks down, or that lyric that may make you cry because it puts your own unspoken feelings into words. Those moments come from a place of courage and openness. But what I'm saying right now, you probably heard all your life. Vulnerability is also essential for your growth. You can't improve at something unless you're willing to fail. You can't heal unless you're willing to feel. And you can't form meaningful relationships unless you're willing to be hurt. Going back to about me, the moment with Yatora didn't solve everything. It didn't erase my fears, and it didn't give me a perfect plan for the future. But what it did give me was some sort of clarity. I realized that running away from what I truly wanted to do wasn't keeping me safe. It was keeping me stuck. I had spent so long convincing myself that I couldn't make a life out of something I loved. Blue Period didn't just comfort me, it confronted me. It asked me to be honest, and when I finally was, I understood that choosing what I wanted despite everything was the first real choice I could make for myself. I went from considering your average majors that would impress your parents with the goals of something like a medical degree or a science degree, to picking majors that incorporate what I love, the ability to create. I applied for things like game design, graphical design, architecture, and some kind of engineering. I tried to find a balance between my passions and my future, but there was one more thing. My biggest desire of all. This. While becoming an artist has faded over the years of me giving up on the dream, making videos on YouTube has been something that has been a desire of mine since forever. Making a channel and uploading videos on YouTube on paper is very easy, but for the longest time I didn't take the initiative. And while this channel is something I keep private to myself and a very few close friends, I'm very glad I started uploading myself talking about whatever that sparked my interest at the time. Nowhere are my videos close to being perfect, but I enjoy every second of making them. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Don't be afraid to chase what excites you. Even if it makes you exposed or vulnerable, give it a shot. You don't have to announce it to the world. You can keep it close, keep it private, make it something just for you. Things like cosplaying, singing, or even making videos are hobbies that I think often get kept in the dark. Not because they're shameful, but because people feel vulnerable and embarrassed when others find out what they truly love. There's this fear of being judged, of being seen as weird or cringe. But the point of doing something you love isn't to impress anyone. It's about feeling fulfilled. It's about creating for the sake of joy. And if there's one thing I've learned from being honest with myself, it's that there's real strength in choosing what makes you feel alive, even if no one else understands it. Vulnerability is scary, but it's also what makes us human. It's where connection, creativity, and self-worth begin. Recently, I've started being more open about things I love and desire, even if they make me feel a little embarrassed. But through that, I found people who share those same interests. People who understand me, not just on the surface, but through the lens of what I truly care about. I think I've never felt more seen. Being more open has allowed me to form deeper relationships, and in hearing what others love too, I've realized how much our desires overlap. That honesty has helped me strengthen our bonds in ways I've never really expected. So whether you share what you love with the world, or keep it tucked away just for yourself, I hope that you never stop doing it. Because sometimes, being the most honest version of yourself is one of the bravest things you can do. Hold on. For the few of you that may have kept up with my channel for a while, first of all, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been on a very long vacation and only got back recently. Second, my When Music Becomes Memory video has been blocked by YouTube for copyright because I used 40 seconds of an anime episode. So I don't know if I should cut off that 40 seconds and re-upload the video, or if I should just revamp the video entirely with my new thoughts. So let me know what you guys think, and anyway, next video whenever.